My name is Marcus. I'm 33, and about 6 months ago I started noticing things were slightly off, not in a dramatic way. Nothing you could point at and say, that's wrong. It was smaller than that, subtle, like the world had been adjusted by someone who almost got it right. It started with my alarm. I always set it for 6:30 a.m. I'm obsessive about routine, same time every day, even weekends. But one Tuesday I woke up and my phone read 6:42. I was late. That didn't make sense. I checked my alarm history. It said I'd set it for 6:40. I don't set alarms for 6:40, ever. I brushed it off as a half-asleep mistake. But then it happened again and again. Every few days, the time would shift, 6:35, 6:38, 6:42. Always slightly wrong. Always something I didn't remember doing. Then it was my fridge. I live alone, so I know exactly what's in there. One night I made spaghetti. Used the last of the sauce. I remember scraping the jar clean. The next day the jar was back. Half full. Same brand. Same lid. Same everything. But I knew I'd finished it. I even checked the bin. The empty jar was still there. 2 jars. Identical. That's when I started paying attention. I work in IT support, mostly remote, fixing problems for people who don't know how to describe them. I'm used to weird glitches, so my brain tried to treat this the same way. There had to be an explanation. Memory lapse. Stress. Something rational. So I started documenting everything. Notebook, dates, times, every small inconsistency. Day 1, alarm changed. Day 3, duplicate jar of sauce. Day 5, email sent that I don't remember writing. Tone slightly different. Day 6, mug moved from kitchen to desk overnight. The email bothered me the most. It was sent from my account to my manager. Perfectly written. Professional. But the wording wasn't how I speak. Too polished. Too precise. Like someone mimicking me. A week later, I noticed something worse. A photo on my phone. I don't remember taking it. It was of my living room. Taken from the corner near the ceiling. High up. Like from a ladder. Or, no, not a ladder. The angle was wrong. Higher than that. I don't own anything that would let me take a photo from that height. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark, watching my flat, listening, waiting. Nothing happened. At 3:12 a.m., my phone buzzed. A notification. Storage almost full? I frowned. That didn't make sense. I barely take photos. I opened my gallery and felt my stomach drop. There were hundreds of new images, all taken inside my flat. Me sleeping, me cooking, me sitting at my desk, me staring at my phone, all taken from above. My hands were shaking as I scrolled. The timestamps were wrong. Some said they were taken at times I was awake, times I would have noticed, times I was in the room. I looked up slowly at the ceiling. There was nothing there, just a plain white surface. Smooth, unbroken. I grabbed a chair anyway, stood on it, pressed my hand against the ceiling. Solid, normal. I told myself I was losing it. There was no other explanation. The next morning I called in sick. I needed to figure it out. I checked every inch of the flat. Smoke detectors, vents, light fixtures. Nothing. No cameras, no devices, and no signs of entry. By midday, I almost convinced myself it was some kind of hack. Someone had accessed my phone, uploaded the images. That made sense. It had to, until I found the file, buried deep in my phone's storage. Not in photos, not in downloads. A folder I'd never seen before, named /revision/. Inside were videos, dozens of them, each labeled with a date. I opened the most recent one. The footage was of my flat, from above. Again, the same impossible angle, but this time I wasn't alone. I was standing in the kitchen, facing the sink, not moving, not blinking, just standing there. Behind me, something moved. At first I thought it was a shadow, but shadows don't move like that. Don't stretch. Don't bend. It peeled itself away from the ceiling. Not dropped. Not climbed. Peeled. Like it had been part of it. It didn't have a face. Not properly. Just a shape where a face should be. Too smooth. Too blank. It moved slowly, deliberately, toward me. And I didn't react. Didn't turn. Didn't even breathe differently. It reached out and touched the back of my head. The video cut. I dropped my phone. I didn't want to watch the others, but I did. I had to. Every video showed the same thing. Different days, different times. The thing coming down from the ceiling, approaching me, touching me, sometimes longer, sometimes just a second. In one video, it stayed behind me for almost 10 minutes, its head tilted, watching me, like it was studying. In another, it leaned closer, and for a moment, I saw something in its face, not eyes, but depth, like something was looking through me. And then came the oldest video, the first one, dated 6 months ago, the day everything started. In that one, I was asleep, lying in bed, still, peaceful. The ceiling above me wasn't solid. It rippled, like liquid, and then it opened. The thing slipped through, but it wasn't alone. Something else came with it, another shape, smaller, more defined. It looked like me, exactly like me. It climbed down, stood beside the bed, looked at my sleeping body, and smiled. Then it lay down on top of me and slowly sank into me. The thing from the ceiling watched, perfectly still. Then it reached up and sealed the ceiling shut. The video ended. I don't remember any of it. Not the night, not the moment, nothing. But I remember the next morning, waking up, feeling different, like something had shifted. I looked at myself in the mirror that day, and for a split second, I didn't recognize my own reflection. I thought it was just sleep. Now I'm not so sure, because things are still changing. Small things, details, habits, preferences. My handwriting looks slightly different. I've started liking foods I used to hate. I respond to messages in ways I normally wouldn't. And last night, I caught myself doing something I've never done before. I stood in the kitchen at 2:47 a.m., perfectly still, facing the sink, and I don't remember going there, but I do remember something else. Just before I came back, I felt it, a hand, resting lightly on the back of my head, and above me, for just a second, I swear the ceiling moved.